let's hit trending pretty hard here. Fortnite World Cup happened this week. The entire tournament gave out a total of $30 million in prize money. 30 million. With the 16-year-old winner of the solo tournament, Booga. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm sorry. I don't really follow Fortnite that much. Taking home $3 million himself. $1.8 million for second place, $1.2 million for third, and $1.05 for fourth.
Could you imagine pulling $3 million for winning a tournament? Like I went to a Halo tournurnament.
It's probably like a grand.
When Halo 2 was out, and we didn't get shit, dude. It was just like we won, and that was like
just for pride.
Yeah.
But just to close this up, just like one more stat, just before that's all right. About 40 million out of Fortnite's 250 million player base competed to take a spot in this tournament, with 200 players making the cut, with an average of being 16 years old and from 34 different countries, it's pretty insane.
Does anybody know why Ninja didn't make it? How come he didn't qualify?
Is he not good enough?
I just think it's hyper competitive, man. I mean, if you have a bad day,
Tifu made it in.
I just think that
no idea.
I think anytime you're up against 40 million people and only 200 people make the cut, I think that there's room for some error there. I
think even having Ninja in there would have brought even more audience to.
Well, they made that's a statement. They want the best players,
right?
Yeah, I like it.
I like that too.
I like it.
It's really cool that design. I wouldn't have hated it if they would have said, hey, let's just bring Ninja in. I mean, obviously he's like the most famous Fortnite player, just to up the viewership or something like that. But obviously they don't need to do that, and makes for a good competitive space, right? Moving forward. I mean, granted, I don't like the game, but if they can keep it competitive like this and not cave to that kind of pressure that we gotta have X, Y, and Z here, or we can't do a shit another tournament, that kind of thing.
Tifu made it in, but Tifu dethroned Ninja. He has more hourly viewership than Ninja now.
Does he now?
Fortnite.
Yeah, I'm surprised if he'll last as long as Ninja, though. He was on top.
I mean, Ninja still got the subscriber count, I think, and the follower count. I mean, I know Summit gets in there with his follower sub count, but yeah, Tifu passed Ninja up in hourly viewing.
Well, I think just like talking about the World Cup and the game, like I think Adam, I agree with you. I don't really love Fortnite either, but I really like what it's doing for the esports scene. I mean, this is $30 million in prize money for the year. It's amazing. I actually really, really like it. I like esports in general. I think it's really exciting, and I'm just glad that it's being able to put out so much money and to bring in so many viewers, even without somebody like Ninja. I prefer it to traditional sports. Someone who's played traditional sports and watched traditional sports all my life, I like esports a lot better, and I just hope that it continues to gain momentum. I would love to see like baseball just go away.
It
stinks. Good.
You guys were always big into even betting on League.
Oh yeah.
What was the biggest prize pool that League ever got? I mean, was it 30 million?
No. 30 million's huge.
I mean, remember when those League prizes started to come out? You were like, wow, that's a lot of money for League. You know what I mean? And now you're seeing 30 million for Fortnite.
I'm not that surprised by this shit. Come on, guys.
And it's a
how much money
younger.
Fucking Epic Games pulls in.
Yeah. When we talked about it, was like 1.6 billion they've made on Fortnite over the past 2 years or something.
Yeah, but Fortnite is a decade older. You know what I mean? It's
investment in the esports with a huge company in the esports, and you put money into something. It's easy. It's easy.
My point is, look at the charts, right? League and Fortnite are on the top, right? They fluctuates between top 3 for them
easily,
right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fortnite is what? Let's say even its earliest alpha or beta versions, the Fortnite Battle Royale is like what, 3 years old at most?
It's like barely.
Let's say earliest alpha iterations, maybe over 2 years. Okay, let's say just around about 2 years.
I can tell you without alpha, it's a little bit less than 2 years.
League came out in what, 08, 09? Okay. Yeah, what was the prize pool for League after 2 years? It wasn't even out of beta yet, right? Yeah,
but I mean, it's different. I mean, League kind of paved the way for Fortnite's success in a way. I mean, it's different.
completely.
Yeah, they're different genres.
The landscape's different.
I'm just saying the difference in prize pool.
Yeah, but people aren't as afraid to invest in esports. They've seen success. They know that it works. Like,
in my own opinion, I'd say League is a more competitive game than Fortnite.
Fuck yeah!
By leaps and bounds. My opinion.
That's a team.
I don't even know if that's your opinion. I think that you can say absolutely.
That's.
I mean, you have your. This
was a solo. This was solo, right?
There were duos too, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, he was the solo champion. The
Bugaboo.
Well, did you see that
16-year-old snot-nosed brat?
Well, $30 million, that's a ton of money to be thrown around. But I think their commitment to tournaments, I think it was for 2018, 2019, $100 million in prize pool money.
Very cool.
So there's more money coming. I don't know where they're putting it, but
I'm happy to see that the esports has gotten to this point. Man, that is a fucking lot of money for a game that's 2 years old.
You're thinking of a career change? Big deal.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I give myself an aneurysm before I was able to compete in Fortnite.
A little too old now. Can't keep
that's for kids on Adderall.
Well, I mean, that kind of like, that bewilderment, that wonderment you're having over that $30 million prize pool, that kind of thing. Isn't that like, Matt was saying, like, with traditional sports when we were growing up, and you would see, like, I don't know, even like the last 10 years, like some quarterback, like fucking, I don't know, like Joe Flacco signs a $100 million contract in sports, something like that.
Yeah,
like,
and he can only throw to half the field too.
Right. I mean, heck, I could do that.
Yeah, but that's not really a tournament.
Well, no. I'm not talking about in a tournament sense. I'm talking about like that's the kind of like wonderment. That's the kind of like spectacle. That's what gets like imaginations rolling for young kids.
Yeah,
but dude, I think that also is forms of entertainment. It's weird with forms of entertainment because like these people really shouldn't be making this much fucking money, dude. I mean, well, listen. I disagree. I know, Mo. I know where you're coming from. Fucking accountant.
I shouldn't.
I know that you think I'm a financial consultant.
Financial consultant. I know that. Of course, like in damn it.
You really think
the free market prices things just as they should be priced?
Right? Yes, exactly. Thank you, Matt. You just finished my thought. So yeah, the free market. But what I'm saying is we should really investigate what we fucking value.
Well, I don't disagree there. Yeah, I don't disagree.
Do we really investigate the Mongoloids?
That's the second time you said Mongoloids today. That's enough.
Is there a prize pool for the home run derby?
Mammoths out there.
What's that, Josh?
Is there a prize pool for the home run derby, or like back in the day it was like the N1 dunk tournament?
I don't know.
They would.
But it'd be like 10 grand.
Usually that stuff's like charity and stuff like that.
Yep, that's true.
That's completely
the thing is Epic made an investment in something that's going to be successful. It may not be really successful in the next 5 years, but it's the future of entertainment.
Absolutely.
So they're getting a foothold.
I'm glad you said that. It's a testament to esports success and the work that people have done for the last 10 to 15 years to make it successful. I think that's why this is so important. I think it shows that esports has finally gotten there. And I think, Ben, just what you said, like the trend on this stuff, I think if you looked at this, actually, this might be the topic of the next show, because this would be a great thing to talk about. But I think if you looked at this trend and you really looked at viewership hard, like across everything, if you looked at MOBAs and you looked at battle royales and shooters, and you looked at who was viewing esports month in and month out, and you looked at baseball and you looked at basketball and hockey, I think you would start to see those numbers getting very, very close.
Mm-hmm.
And one is very much on the rise, and the other one is probably very stable or kind of starting to slowly decline.
What's the Super Bowl?
And that's not going to change. That's not going to change.
Can we know? Can we find a number as to how many viewers this tournament had?
Oh,
can anybody find that?
I'd be surprised to know that too.
I don't know if they're out yet.
Let's compare it to the Super Bowl. What was this tournament called?
I know. I used to look, Josh, just for reference. I think a few years ago when League was having its World Championships, I actually looked at that, and League was getting more viewers than the baseball World Series was at that time, and that was like 3 years ago.
Yeah,
and it was just League. So it's pretty.
Yeah, it's one thing is that's coming up.
There was 2.33 million viewers for this most recent.
I don't think they've
Fortnite tournament and 22.7 million hours watched.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if that was close to the Super Bowl. But
Super Bowl has more viewers,
Yeah.
but I would say hours watched. I mean, obviously, it's a lot.
Well, I mean, people are watching the Super Bowl for the fucking commercials.
Yeah, anymore.
I'd probably say 30% of the people watching the Super Bowl.
98.2. So like big margins there.
Oh yeah,
we're throwing a lot of percentages and numbers out.
Yeah. I mean, and that's a fair assessment. But I think my point is just that I wouldn't be surprised in 10 years if you see those getting really, really stinking close, man.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I would maybe even less than 10 years.
As the gaming community grows in platforms like Twitch and Mixer and what was that new one that came out that's dead in the water already?
Yeah.
But
Dead Live.
As stuff like that comes, YouTube, all that stuff, yeah, for sure. You know, we look at the it's like this, you know, if you were to like look at it on a trending chart, I guarantee you it
would be insane.
Straight up, you know. So yeah, but, I agree with you, Matt. It in a decade, you know,
we're all going to be hooked up to the shit. We're not going to be living our lives.
Well,
we'll be robots.
Yeah, I hear about it all the time now, just from the people I work with. They have kids, young kids, and that's all they do. Like they do play traditional sports still, but if they're not, they're playing Fortnite. They all of them, and I feel like we're already hitting that point in this next generation here where there's going to be kids were already playing video games when we were young. That was the thing, but not to this extent where you can make like a career out of it. You can make a living, like it's a legitimate thing. Yeah. There's not a ton of people to do it, but
to go on what you're saying, I literally just thought about while I was being a slave at work over the last 3 days. Is like I would sooner watch somebody play a game than, I mean, there are exceptions. Like I binge watch Stranger Things the whole way through, but
yeah,
I would much sooner watch somebody play a game that I haven't played or a game that I like and would like to see another, viewpoint on than sit down and watch some garbage TV. Like I would I have a really hard time finding a show to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Movies is a little different, but shows, I find
really
every day. It's very hard to be dedicated to a show now.
It's games or anime for me, man. And like, I don't know.
Even anime, I would rather watch a show.
Maybe that's a sad existence, but that's what I was going to say. Or I'll read
manga.
Mm-hmm. Or I'll read books. I was just going to say that.
Yeah. I'd sooner
read a manga. It used to be YouTube, but I stopped that shit because
I did too. Books.
You're not making your own choices on YouTube anymore.
Yeah.
Books for me, like I always think I want to sit down and read them, and I get into it. And I don't know. I think maybe like my mind is just too cluttered that I can't sit down and focus. But I think that's the case. I just can't. I can't get into them. I get there and I read like the first couple of chapters. I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. Once I put it down, it's like gone. I forget about it.
Let's just wait for the next Patrick Rothfuss book to come out.
I think that's what. But anyway, let's wrap this conversation there because I think I really might want to talk about that next week, the esports thing, because it's really interesting and it's something that we could probably really dive into if we pulled some numbers together. But